So it's time now for a comprehensive review of the 2025 ISA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletic Championships in Jamaica, dubbed the greatest high school track and field event in the Western Hemisphere. We'll be discussing the string of controversies which threaten to derail the meet in our next segment. But first, let's focus on the championship races. Let's begin with Kingston College, who won their 36th boys title, amassing 293 points to finish ahead of Calabar, 229.25, and Jamaica College, 207. As expected, the Purples were in celebratory mood on Monday morning. Kimani O'Sullivan was there, basking in the festivities.
Flags, balloons, vintage jerseys, specially customized motor vehicles, and of course, a vast sea of students, teachers, and alumni. Scenes from a triumphant 2A North Street, where Kingston College for the 36th time celebrated the boys' champs title following Saturday's convincing 63.75-point victory over arch-rivals Calabar. And although KC have the most champs titles, there was added incentive in 2025 with the institution celebrating its centenary year. The final result providing tremendous satisfaction to now 5-time winning head coach Leaford Grant, who has already announced his intention to step down.
Extraordinary feeling, and the boys did deliver, which is most important, you know. But I want to say it's much more for me. It's for the entire fraternity, all the old boys who have supported us for the centenary champs and the 100 champs. So that in itself, doing it for them, it's really a blessing for me. Yeah.
Team captain Marcinio Rose, who secured silver in a KC Class 1 400-meter quinella, says the 4x400 victory to close the championship was especially significant for the sprinter.
It's a very great feeling, yeah, and we just motivate each other and stuff like that. So yeah, motivate each other in the camp, we stay focused, and we just listen to our coach and do what needed to be done.
First-time participant and new Class 3 1500-meter record holder, Kenya's Julius Itubo, also reveled in the festivities.
I want to thank God, then I want to tell God to start to continue bless me and winning camps break the records. I'm feeling good, I'm having every time I'm seeing that is my gold medal. Thank you God for that.
So it's mission accomplished for the North Street-based school, champions in their centenary year like they did in their 50th back in 1975.
And no question about it, Kingston College has winning in their DNA when it comes to sport, and they were massive winners on the weekend. And Ricardo did predict a Kingston College victory, but not by that margin.
Yeah, not by that margin, and I think a number of things accounted for the margin at the end of the day. No, to be honest, I had no doubt that Kingston College had the best team going into champs on the boys' side. And even though I predicted them to win by 17 points, I also knew that there were pathways where they could end up winning by a lot more. And that happened. And for a number of reasons. One, would Jamaica College be able to maximize on their potential? Would Calabar be able to maximize on their potential? And also, which of the teams would be able to manage their injury concerns best? Because I think that played a large part, because I think all three teams had injury concerns going into the championship, but for the most part, the KC boys were able to manage their issues really, really well. And in many cases, they were able to overperform with championship. And I guess with any event, Lance, that where you have a big team and you're drawing from different areas, not everyone will perform up to the standard that you expect. But conversely, you will have those who aren't expected to be at a certain level, and they perform at a really high level and do a lot better than was expected. And I think for Kingston College, even when they, we use the term drop points, they had so much depth that they were able to replenish elsewhere. and they were still able to get up into the 290s. I had predicted Kingston College 287, so they got 6 more points than I predicted them to have. But you have to give them a lot of credit. Their big guns, a lot of their big guns came to the fore, including in the Class 1 boys 400 meters, the captain Marcinia Rose, who was silver medalist, Taj Marquez White, who was gold medalist, going on to 46 seconds. That was a fantastic race to watch. Markel Smith in the Class 1 200 meters. I don't think Markel Smith was even predicted to be in the Class 1 200 final, and somehow he was able to step forward and win a bronze medal for Kingston College. In fact, Market is more of a 400 runner. And for him in his first year of Class 1 to perform the way he did, I thought was really special. Amani Phillips in Class 2 winning the triple jump with a record as well. Magnificent record, because that record set only last year by Michael Andre Edwards of Jamaica College, who incidentally in his first year of Class 1 won the long jump, triple jump, double. But yeah, a lot of credit has to be given to Kingston College and to their coaching staff for getting their athletes by and large to peak for the championship, and in many cases produce performances above what we had seen throughout the course of the regular season. So I think for the most part, most of the predictions were spot on when it came on to the numbers and the final numbers for Kingston College. I think for Calabar, they probably did not perform as well, certainly as my number suggested. And I think also based on their own expectations, quite a few things for that. They had a couple of unfortunate situations. So, for example, they had in the decathlon Siobhan Price, who did both the decathlon and the long jump. Unfortunately for him, the day of the decathlon was also the day of the long jump. Now, what happened to him is that he had gone through the 100 meters. In the decathlon, he'd gone through the 100 meters, the long jump, the shot put, the high jump, and the 400 meters. In fact, he jumped 7.31 meters on day 2 in the long jump, which would have gotten him a medal in the decathlon long jump, which would have gotten him a medal in the long jump proper. He didn't even score in the long jump at the end of the day. I think he jumped 6:43 or something to that effect. Then Calabar had someone like a Micah Willis, who ran the 400 hurdles the night before and came back for the 400 semis the next morning, and clearly just didn't have the energy and performed below standard. And they had a few other, I think, occurrences of underperformance that they will look back. I thought that at 100, 200, and 800, 1500, Calabar did not perform as well as they were expected to. For example, in the Class 1 800 meters, they had DeJounte Lewis, who had run 152 at the Carifta Trials only a few weeks ago, and then at Champs missed out on the final, barely breaking 1 minute and 58 seconds. So they had a few of those situations, and I think they will look back at it and think to themselves, this was an opportunity missed to at least get closer to Kingston College. I also do believe, and I don't want to, put too much on this, but I think it's a possibility as well that after they were disqualified from the Class 1 4x100, and rightly so, by the way, it was clear, there's no doubt they should have been disqualified from that race. Yes.
First changeover out of the box.
Out of the box, yes. But after they were disqualified from that, I get the feeling that the fight was knocked out of them. Even Odain Davidson in the 5,000, who was predicted for a medal, he just looked as if he was going through the paces, trying to finish the 12.5 laps. But a lot of credit has to be given to Kingston College for delivering over the course of the 5 days. And the truth is, I think Jamaica College just never came to the party.
Yeah. Credit to the Kingston College management of the project, because I heard Leaford Grant, the head coach, talking at the end of the championship, and putting a lot of emphasis on the senior members of the team and the team captains for galvanizing the team, almost suggesting that as administrators, they didn't really have that much work to do because the boys took control of the situation and the seniors just guided the youngsters and channeled the energies in the right directions.
And I think when it comes on to championship, that is exactly what you want. You want your senior members to step up, yes, with their performances on the track, but also the way they are able to help the younger members of the unit through champs, because champs can be a roller coaster a lot of times. One day you're up, the next day you're down, and you have to be able to manage, you know, those different emotions and so on. And a lot is happening, especially in this champs. A lot of controversial occurrences. And I'm pretty sure the Kingston College fraternity and the athletes themselves would have been hearing about a lot of it, and they would need to manage it throughout the course. So you have to give them credit for being able to do that as well. Yeah,
Clive Pullen, the 2013 Kingston College captain, told us on this show only last week, Ricardo, that champs as a preparatory experience for greater things in life was so profound for him in his career that it taught him the basics of dealing with pressure. That's what champs does. He said that because of champs and his experience with champs, he never ever felt nervous at any other major meet that he went to, NCAAs, Carifta. The next time he felt nervous was at the Olympic Games, because everything else to him was like, you know, I saw this already at champs.
And part of it is because he represented Kingston College as well, because I think there is greater pressure on the athletes who represent championship chasing teams.
Yes.
And especially when you are competing on the final day and things are tight, you're not just competing for you. It's not just a gold medal for you, but it's 9 points that is going towards trying to win a championship. And you have the pressure you place on yourself of wanting to do well, but there is also the pressure of knowing if you don't do well, it significantly impacts an entire organization, the team effort. And so you don't want to let the team down, and I think that is added pressure, and the athletes who are able to deal with that year in and year out are really special competitors.
And it serves them well in the future. Let's move on now to the girls' champions, where Ricardo joined in the Hydel celebrations earlier on Monday.
Songs of praise and thanksgiving. Music and dance. A small school population of just under 600 students reveling in Hydel's second girls' champs title in 3 years.
This one had a lot of doubts, and if I might use your words, doubted and written off. But when the lion roared, we are champions again. It's a good feeling. This one is sweet because I think we were even less expected to win. We've never led into the last day, and that was a little nerve-wracking for us. We're better at chasing, so it was a little nerve-wracking to be chased. But we were able to hold on and deliver.
Corey Bennett, the mastermind of their success, paying tribute to a small unit of just under 40 athletes, having produced a clutch 11-point victory over heavy favourites and defending champions Edwin Allen. Among Hydel standouts, Class 1 quadruple gold medalist Jordan Daly, who won individual goals in the 200 and 100-meter hurdles while being part of their sprint and mile relay winning teams, Daly admitting that her 200 victory was the sweetest of them all.
Because everyone thought that Sabrina Dockery was going to win, but I went out there and I did my best, and I showed everyone that I am capable of winning also.
A victory that came amidst controversy.
I thought they incorrectly put back Dockery in the race, but we used it as a motivation. You know, I thought we were heading to a Quinella, and then the girls started to get nervous and say, "Boy, sir, this is not right." But we asked her to stay disciplined to her training, trust her training, and once you were close at 150, you would win the race. And that she did.
Captain Taifa Gao also played a pivotal role winning the Class 1 1500 2000 steeplechase double, the steeple win coming in record time.
The feeling is just amazing. As you said, they counted me out and I came out and I shocked everybody. I shocked even myself in the 1500. The record breaking was on my mind. That was my aim because I go close to it last year. So the record breaking was on my mind and that was my aim. I've been working hard all season, so I just go out there and dominate for my team and leading by example as the team captain.
And with its later success, Coach Bennett is hoping more support will come on board.
We have a lot of needs, and we're hoping that person will see the need of the girls and the future Jamaica. And I'm hoping that person will come on board and trust us.
And while they wait, they continue to celebrate Hydel champions again.
Yeah, so Hydel, they're celebrating a magnificent victory. Even their coach, Corey Bennett, did suggest that it did look a little bit difficult for them to achieve it, but they did. Just for context, Ricardo, can you just explain the Sabrina Dockery reference there just now? She was a favorite to win the 200, had been DQ'd, but reinstated?
Yeah, she was DQ'd in a heat alongside Immaculate's Chevy and Shim. They were both disqualified for false starting in the same race at the same time. And there was an appeal filed and it was successful. And so Dockery was reinstated. She was allowed, along with Chevy and Shim from Immaculate, to run to make times to get into the final. Dockery was successful, Shim wasn't successful, and so Dockery ended up running from lane number 2 in the championship race that Jodie and Daly came out on top.
Was it surprising that she lost?
A little bit, I think. I think in the absence of Shania Douglas, who is Class 2 from Machette, she won the Class 2 sprint double, that most individuals expected Dockery to win, and especially because she'd gone 11.08 in the 100 meters. She'd also run a pretty nippy 23.20, I think it was, in her first run for 200 meters. So given all of that, the expectation was that she would go on and win. I do believe a couple of things. One, she was affected by being in lane number 2. I think it might have been a different race if she had a better lane draw, Dockery. But the other thing as well, I also do believe that since Dockery has started focusing on the 100 meters, I am not sure that her 200 has come on in the same way. I do think in future she is going to be magnificent at both 100 and 200 meters. But at this stage, I think she is clearly a much better 100 runner than she is a 200 runner, although it was the 200 meters that she won her first major medal, Carifta Silva, in Kingston some years ago.
Yeah. A quick comment on Corey Bennett's work with this Hydel team, because some of our viewers may not know that he is actually the Calabar boys coach, head coach of the. So he had a dual role all 5 days, you know, governing the Calabar effort to try to topple Kingston College, while at the same time presiding over Hydel's bid to upset the favourites Edwin Allen. Most people thought Edwin Allen would have been champions. Talk to us quickly about Corey Bennett's work with Hydel to get them where they got to.
Well, I mean, clearly, he's always done magnificent work with Hydel. So, first of all, we're talking about a team of 38 athletes. In winning champs, you're usually looking at teams of 70, 80, and in some cases, even more athletes. What Corey has focused on with his Hydel team is quality over quantity. And that is what they bring to the championship every year. Now, personally, it's not necessarily a method I have total belief in, because I think that method will be beaten most times by quality teams with greater numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that saying that they say a good big man is always going to be better than a good little man, something of that sort. It's the same way I feel about situations like this. But you have to give credit that they've been able to win it twice in the last 3 years. I do believe, though, that Edwin Allen in many ways caused their own downfall. Yes, they had a couple of unfortunate situations. Adriana Pine, who was the outstanding favorite for the 100-200 in Class 4, got injured in the 100 semi-final. and was unable to take any further part in the championship. Ishna James in the heptathlon, she collapsed in the first lap of the last event, the 800 meters, while she was leading the heptathlon. So that was an unfortunate blow for Edwin Allen as well. But I just find, Lance, that whenever Edwin Allen come under serious pressure at champs, they tend to panic. And I think they were spiraling at this championship, and they just could not pull it together. The underperformances just kept coming. The mistakes just kept coming. And Hydel just remained honest. Hydel kept doing what they needed to do, and in some cases, above what they needed to do. And when it came to holding their nerve, they were able to do it significantly better than Edwin Allen. And you have to give them credit because, yeah, it was magnificent. And to note, they are the first team to win 2 girls' champs titles since Edwin Allen won their first. Because since Edwin Allen won their first title, Homewood won 1, and now we have 2 wins in 3 years for Hydel. It's a magnificent achievement for Corey Bennett because it's not easy to manage one team, much less managing 2 teams over a 5-day period, and especially because both teams were in the championship race until relatively late on the final day. I genuinely believe that the championship race on the boys' side ended officially when Calabar got disqualified from the Class 1 sprint relay. And yeah, but I mean, kudos to him and kudos to the Hydel unit.
Yeah, a lot to discuss on the high school championships in Jamaica. Certainly on the track and from the standpoint of performances, it was a memorable meet and outstanding in many ways. But there were downsides to the meet, which we will discuss in the next segment. Back in a moment.